So in this session, we're going to take a look at how to add documents like PDF, Excel, Word, or whatever into WebFOCUS portals for download, so you can add some static documentation. So I created a little folder in here, and the first thing we need and we want to do is get a little button in there. To do so, we're going to go to plus, other, and we're going to upload a file. I already prepared a little button in here, so we can select that button. So we got it in here. So of course we can publish it now. We could also view it. So we're going to see it. It's a very, very simple button in here. So of course you can create something more sophisticated. So next step is actually we want to link an online document link. So that can be somewhere on a web page. This can be somewhere in a document management system like Google Docs. This could be, of course, a SharePoint link, whatever you want to do. So go back over here and we go again to plus. We're going to go to other. We're going to go to URL. And this is my doc. So I'm going to add the URL. There's my doc. So we're going to publish that one. So now we got simple and different ways to work with that doc. So I can go to plus. I can go to assemble visualization. We're going to go with a very basic page, so nothing in there. So in here, of course, I can add the doc to the page. So in that case, I get an inline viewer, but that's going to auto download the document, which might not be the best way. It might be not what you wanted to achieve, because I want people to click on something to decide if they want to get the document. So to do so, I can now go to containers and use the link tile. So if we add a link tile has a background, which is going to be the capability of displaying something in here. So that's going to be in my docs folder, and it's my button. So of course I can play around with that a little bit, size it accordingly. So I'm going to stick with that one. Of course, I can add different elements to that page here as well. So I can combine it with containers, build whatever I want to on that page. So create my personal page with standard regular WebFOCUS content. And there's my link tile. So that link tile in here, again, I can add a tooltip, like click for download. And there's the content. And if I want to use the content, I can now go to docs. I can go to that link that we created and select that link. So of course, I could also send parameters to that specific link tile container in here if I want to. And I can select the target, which means, do I want to open a new window, or do I want to use the viewer window in WebFOCUS? Having done so, let me click on that one. So we're going to preview what we just built. And there's my download doc. Of course, you can make it a nicer button if you want to. So if I click on that one, it opens up the viewer pop-up thing, and it shows my document in here. Of course, again, if I don't like that viewer thing, just change it to new window. It's going to do the same thing. If you click on it, it's opening up a new window with my document. So straightforward and easy. But how to handle that thing if you don't have a new window, or if you don't have a document that you can link to on a website? You could also do something different. So if I go to WebFOCUS, I can also select plus. I can also go to other, upload file, and I can upload that document into WebFOCUS. So now the PDF is part of WebFOCUS in here, so I can publish it. And in here now we can go back to my designer page. And again, now we're linking to the doc, but let me change that one. So actually we're going to go for the document in here. So we're going to go back to the viewer. I like the viewer more. And instead of linking to that URL, I can now link directly to the PDF document stored in the WebFOCUS repository. That one gets you the advantage to be able to assign security to the doc. Besides that, it's the same thing, only different now, the document is served from the WebFOCUS repository. So it's not anymore loaded from the external page. Going to be easier to show if you go to new window, we run it again, click on that one. So as you see now, the doc is pulled from the WebFOCUS repository. That's straightforward if you go for single documents, a few ones. If you get hundreds of documents, you might not want to load them to the WebFOCUS repository, just not to blow up the WebFOCUS repository or just make it very big for backup purposes. That might be an issue. So you could also go to the WebFOCUS Hub page, and instead of putting it into the WebFOCUS repository, you can go to the application directory, go, for example, to something like the base up folder. So let's go to base up. There's my base up folder. And in here, I'm going to create a new element. So in here, I might want to create a new folder first. So let me call that one docs. Go to OK. So now in base up, we got our documents in here. So I've got my base up folder. Let me go to the folders in here. So sorry, I created it in the root directory, which is okay as well. So, and I keep docs here as a separate application. And in here now I can upload a document as well. So I got a plus. I can upload raw data in here, which is not what I wanted to go for. So I go for up. I can select that one. So if you see that one, it only allows me to upload documents like PDF, Excel sheets. So those are going to allow me to upload specific documents, document types that can be used for data. But I could also resize my directory in here. So let me resize that thing. So it's going to be resized. Go back, close the upload dialog. Resize that window here a little bit. So we got something like a PDF or my PowerPoint in here. So I can now select my PowerPoint. And actually, there's my doc folder. So the only downside now is there's no way in the product to upload any file onto that folder just because of security reason. So you're going to need an administrator to support you in here. So if I want to get a PDF into that folder, actually the only way really is to go to the server itself and physically copy that element onto the server. So via a network share or whatever. So I've got my document in here and I'm going to put it on the server into the apps folder, into the docs folder. So there it is. Just put it in there. So it's currently getting stored in there. Let me put a copy into base up and let me create a doc folder in there. Let me put a copy in here. So it's in that folder now. And if you want to get to that file, it's going to be a very simple link. So it's going to be your server name and it's going to be app / name of the folder, like base up docs, and then it's going to be the full file name behind. So that's the way to get to the folder. Of course, you have to change it according to your document or according to your server. So in here now, it's going to be the same technique. So going back to the WebFOCUS Hub, instead of that thing that we had online, we're going to create a new URL here. So go to other. And in here, that URL is going to look as following. So it's going to be the doc base up, put in the URL in here, add whatever you want to. Of course, you could also play around with it a little bit. So instead of using that full link, you could also use a relative link. So there's my doc in BaseUp. View it. You see it's loading the document. So I would always recommend doing it that way. So instead of using a full qualified path, you could also use the relative path, which is going to look like this. And you can do the same thing now. So going back to my designer page, here's my document. So instead now linking to the my doc, which is online somewhere, I'm going to go through the doc in BaseApp, select that one. So now it's going to be doc BaseUp. Again, it's a new window. We can run it. Going to be able to look at it. So there's my doc. Let me quickly save it. There we go. So we got my document. I can click on download doc again. And as you see, it's now pulling the document from the BaseUp folder. So different ways to do the same thing. Of course, you could also get multiple versions of that thing. So if you duplicate that container, I can have as many as I want to, put pointing to different locations. So we can move things around a little bit in here on my page. So move that one to the side. There's my download docs. So build me a list of download doc elements in here. Straightforward and simple way to build my personal page with download capabilities. And that's the easy way to provide documents for download from a WebFOCUS page. And of course, that page can be embedded into any portal. Straightforward, simple ways to do. Have fun with it. And if you like the channel, hit subscribe and yeah, like it.